More than half the cars driving past you right now were built over a decade ago. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Not all of them are dying at the same speed. German and Japanese engines can sail past 500,000 kilometers without blinking. The average Korean, American, or French engine taps out around 300,000. And plenty of domestic Russian cars start begging for a full engine rebuild at just 150 to 200,000 kilometers. That gap isn't small. That gap is the difference between a car that becomes part of your life and a car that becomes a monthly expense. Today, we're breaking down exactly which cars refuse to age, the 5 long-haul champions Russian drivers trust more than any others. Stick around, because if you've ever wondered whether reliability actually has a nationality, you're about to get your answer. And hey, if this kind of breakdown is your thing, go ahead and subscribe now, because the number 1 car on this list might not be who you expect. Opening our countdown at number 5 is the Volkswagen Polo, a car built to keep running from the day it rolls off the lot until someone finally stops maintaining it properly. It sits high, with 17 centimeters of ground clearance, which means broken roads barely register. The underbody is coated in anti-gravel protection to guard against flying debris, and the entire body gets double galvanized to keep rust from ever taking hold. That's precisely why you'll find it working nonstop in taxi fleets, because taxi drivers don't gamble on unreliable machines. The downside? Official dealer service and repairs can get expensive, and while most engine and transmission combinations hold up fine, if you want this car running for decades, stick with the manual. The cabin plastic feels a bit stiff and sound insulation isn't its strong suit, but none of that stops Russian drivers from loving it year after year. A well-earned 5th place. But the car right above it tells an even more interesting story. Number 4 is the Skoda Octavia, a vehicle that, with careful ownership, can realistically stay on the road for 15 years or more. It runs on a stiff, dependable suspension, solid mechanicals, and a reliable clutch and brake system. Here's the thing nobody tells you, though. If you don't cut corners on parts, once you replace those key components, the car will comfortably deliver another 100 to 200,000 kilometers before needing attention again. Before buying, though, dig through owner forums first. Ask real drivers about the quirks specific to whichever generation you're eyeing. Every version of the Octavia holds up well. It really just comes down to age and your budget. The weak points are the automatic transmissions and a design that plays it safe rather than innovative, though plenty of buyers actually prefer that classic approach. The interior plastic isn't premium and starts creaking over time, yet somehow that hasn't hurt its popularity, especially among taxi fleet owners, just like the Polo before it. And remember, taxi companies won't run cars that constantly demand repair money. That fact alone tells you everything. Now we're entering the top 3, and the competition gets fierce. Opening the podium at number 3 is a Honda Civic, a nameplate that first appeared back in 1972 and has since evolved through 10 full generations, every single one still holding real value on the used market. What makes it so desirable is razor-sharp handling paired with an engine rated for 300 to 350,000 kilometers. Though with proper maintenance, the 1.8-liter engine has been known to comfortably hit 500,000 without drama. The dashboard layout is thoughtfully designed, the acceleration feels lively, and the suspension is remarkably dependable. Transmissions are a different story, though. The automatic runs smoothly, but the automated manual gearbox tends to fail as components wear down, so proceed carefully. Ground clearance is low and sound insulation is weak, though neither issue actually affects long-term reliability. What does wear out fast is the seat upholstery, and replacement parts aren't cheap or quick to source. Here's an insider tip, though. Worn seat fabric is actually one of the easiest ways to spot a car with a tampered odometer. Even so, this is a car capable of running for years without any serious mechanical drama, earning it a well-deserved bronze medal. But what's sitting just above it might genuinely surprise you. Number 2 belongs to the Audi A4, a German entry into our list of long-haul survivors. Used A4 models on a resale market regularly show 700,000, sometimes over 1 million kilometers, blowing straight past the manufacturer's own 350,000 kilometer guarantee, like it's nothing. Even at extreme mileage, the suspension stays rigid and the engine keeps performing at a genuinely impressive level. The one weak spot is ground clearance, sitting at just 11 centimeters. Those spacers can fix that easily. Just don't expect it to survive endless potholes without regular servicing. And yes, German repairs come with a German price tag, even at specialized shops. Despite that, the A4 remains highly sought after in Russia and consistently ranks among the most reliable options in the used market. Keep that in mind before you write it off as just another expensive European car. And now, the moment you probably already guessed. Taking the crown at number 1 is the Toyota Camry, one of the most in-demand imported cars on the used market today. The 6th generation, built around 2006, sells for roughly half the price of newer models and remains the most requested version by far. The 7th generation, starting in 2012, commands a noticeably higher price, and given how unpredictable the used car market currently is, exact figures aren't worth quoting. Your best bet is browsing listings yourself to compare mileage, price, age, and condition in real time. With careful ownership, an older Camry that's already logged 12 to 15 years can keep serving faithfully for another stretch just as long. The suspension, brakes, and engine are close to flawless, and there's genuinely nothing to complain about. Annual maintenance costs typically land around 70 to 80,000 rubles, covering fluids, consumables, and insurance, remarkably affordable for a car that's dependable. Sure, there's some body roll and minor interior creaking, along with average sound insulation, but none of that changes the fundamental experience. You get in, you drive, and you simply stop worrying about breakdowns. A well-earned first place. At the end of the day, an enormous number of cars can keep running far longer than anyone expects, rust and all, as long as someone keeps maintaining them properly. So tell us in the comments, which car on this list would you actually trust with your money? And drop your own long-haul favorites, so we can compare notes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like. It genuinely helps this video reach more people. See you in the next one.